Okay, you guys, some of you might have heard that there is a huge report that came out of the UK about grooming gangs and trafficking of young girls and women. And the results of this study are absolutely staggering. And I'm not going to get into every detail because I you can read it yourselves. It's online. But they're specifically talking about 250,000 girls and women who have somehow been groomed, sold, and trafficked, or just raped. I don't want to say just, but even just assaulted by predominantly Pakistani men in their country. And then they were then trafficked out of the country into countries like Pakistan and Afghanistan and that sort of thing. Girls as young as 12 years old, you guys. 12 years old. And the scarier thing that was proven with this report is not how horrendous these girls have been treated, although that is absolutely disgusting and reprehensible behavior. 250,000 girls, you guys, young as 12, trafficked from here, there, and everywhere, and all the way back again. What the is wrong with you? Okay. The thing that was more disturbing, or as disturbing, is that there were people in law enforcement, in government, in hospitals, in every area that could have done something but chose not to because they were afraid of being called a bigot or a racist or one of these other nasty little words you liberals like to use the moment we turn ourselves back on each other and say, let's take care of ourselves before we take care of the rest of the planet. Everywhere I go, every time I post something, I always get at least a few comments saying, well, if you let the third world into your country, then you become the third world. I already knew that. I agree with that. How much are we going to continue to do this for? Do you think these kind of numbers aren't happening in Canada? Because they are. We just don't have a great big huge report yet to prove what's been going on. But if you can't see that the RCMP and the federal government have done jack shit about the criminals in this country, you're outside your mind. Outside your mind. And I'm disgusted with you. I really am. If you actually think that this government is doing anything good, you're wrong. You're very, very wrong in every aspect. And there was a specific girl they talked about, and they gave her a pseudonym. They called her Chloe. That wasn't her real name. They called her Chloe in the report. And she was trafficked for years, and she was assaulted by thousands, literally thousands of men. Okay? One of which assaulted her with a whiskey bottle. After making her drink the whiskey at 13 years old, he assaulted her with the whiskey bottle. And it broke inside of her and shattered into pieces. And she had to go into the hospital to get that taken care of. And the hospital treated her and then let her leave with the man who brought her in there. The man who had done that to her, asking not one single question about how it happened. They ignored it. They didn't say a word. Now, I don't know what's going on in the UK, healthcare system, but I hope in Canada that's something a nurse is going to ask a question about, or call the police to ask the questions about, or something. You don't just treat somebody for an injury like that and then say, okay, who's picking you up? I don't get it, you guys. As somebody who has worked with people who have experienced these things, this is really disturbing. This is more than disturbing, And I don't know why anybody is so surprised. Because in these Muslim countries, these men are allowed to act like that. They're allowed to do whatever the hell they want to a woman. The woman has no rights. So when you bring them here, they still have the same thinking. So they don't see anything wrong with it. And they keep it up. I have said that 1,000 times too. These people do not belong in our countries. They are not compatible. They never will be. Get them out now. Or your daughter is the next Chloe. Sorry on the F-bombs. See you on the next one. Ciao for now.